TYT Sports, everybody. It's Ben Mankiewicz and Jason Rubin here. So the story out of Seattle is there are two stories with the fans in Seattle. One, they're not as loud as in years past,
Yes.
which is interesting. Wonder why that is.
I have a theory.
All right, save it. I don't want to hear it. No, what's your theory, real quick?
Well, it has to do with just keep going.
Oh, okay. So you think it's related to the other story?
Yeah.
So this, well, maybe they are. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
The other part, maybe that the Seahawks beer is apparently being watered down at the stadium. I'm very proud of one fact about me. I don't know the name of the stadium they play at, and I used to know
CenturyLink Field.
I used to know every stadium name, and when they started getting corporate names, without trying, I didn't decide not to know. My brain just became completely disinterested in remembering the names of the stadiums. They change all the time, and I don't feel that's a deal that they made with the team or the city, right, to get some additional ad revenue. That doesn't apply to me. I get to call it whatever I want, and every broadcaster should be able to call it whatever he wants.
So what do you call it?
I call it whatever it was. I remember it wasn't
Whatever
it
it
Quest?
was.
Wasn't it Quest?
Was it ever? I don't know Seattle.
It's Seahawks Stadium. That's what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know. The first one can work, like Safeco Field, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that's a company, right? I guess
Yes.
they make safes, right?
No idea.
Maybe.
No idea.
But I don't. But if they change it, I'm going to call it Safeco Field because that's the name of it, right?
Okay.
And the A's.
You're not going to call it Mariners
I
Stadium?
still call the A's sometimes the Net or the Mac because they were Network Associates or McAfee, and those were abbreviations and they worked. But mostly the A's play at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
Right.
That's where they
I still
play.
call it Shea.
The Coliseum, right? You still call it Shea, right? We're not duty bound to follow the lead of our corporate overlords. Okay, so what's the name of this field?
I think CenturyLink Field or CenturyLink Stadium.
So they're watering down the beer there, but in a very minor way. And is it
Very
every
minor.
beer?
Not every beer. They said it's something to do with like Red Hook Ale. It's like the beer is advertised at 5.2% alcohol, and they're watering it down to 4.9%.
So from 5.2. Now, a couple of things.
Not just that though.
I'm really of two minds on this story, and I'm curious whether you are as well, Jason.
Okay.
One, don't water down your beer. You make enough money, you overcharge for the beer. Give people the product as it was intended to be made. They didn't brew that beer for a couple of jackals to decide to make a little more money and water it down from 5.2 to 4.9. That's
right.
It's deceitful and it's wrong, and that's probably ultimately the side I'm going to come down
I'm
on.
not sure if you just mentioned this, but you're paying
Yeah,
$12
I said it's very
for a beer.
expensive.
Right.
So people are overpaying for a beer. They should get the product that they think they're buying, that they would buy at the bar or
Right.
the supermarket or wherever the hell people buy beer. I don't drink beer, but when I do, I don't drink it. So then the other issue is making people slightly less drunk at sporting events is probably a pretty good idea.
Okay. Well, a couple things. One, this is my theory. Because of that 0.3%, maybe the Seahawks fans aren't as loud. They need
Maybe
5.2% alcohol to start screaming their bloody minds
If it's
out.
like Safeco, if it's like baseball though, you can get a serious gourmet. I had 3 bowls of clam chowder the last time I went to a
honestly,
Mariners
that's what I
game.
don't like about
I went to a
stadiums
baseball
now.
game and I had soup.
I don't like that about stadiums now. Like again, I still call it Shea. So when I used to go to Mets games, like there was hot dogs. What could you get was a ballpark Frank. That was really it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some popcorn, Cracker Jacks, similar things.
Cracker
now
Jack.
when you go to any Cracker Jack, yes. Now if you go to any stadium, any new stadium built within the last 10 years in this country, you can sit down. There's places to sit. Like you can get reservations at some stadiums for some restaurants.
I had at the Nats game. My best friend, when he does something, he likes to do it well, and so he's like, "Do you want to go to the Nats game?" This was middle of the season, right?
Nationals.
The Nationals game. Yeah.
I think they have an awful stadium.
And so, they got baseball in Washington, so I'm for it. So we go to the Nats game,
fair enough.
and he buys President's Box seats.
Ooh.
And we were right behind home plate, and you get access not only to the restaurant, but you can just eat whatever you want there, right? And I had, at a baseball game, grilled cauliflower. And it was the best thing I have ever eaten at a baseball
So you're
game.
for these gourmet?
I don't know.
grilled
I'm for
cauliflower?
grilled cauliflower.
So hold on, you don't
for-
drink beer.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
order grilled cauliflower.
Everyone would have ordered that grilled cauliflower.
Everyone.
It was to die for.
Right. There's some questions.
So But the tickets cost like $340.
Oh.
So you have to. But we kept thinking they give you, but everything's free, like water, drinks, everything, not booze, but
Watered down beer.
So you could have your much water. I was like, I can have all the cauliflower and water I want. I'm living large.
I want beer down water. I want water
So
with a little beer.
they shouldn't do it. I think they shouldn't water down
No, it's
the
wrong
beer.
that you're doing it, especially because what you're paying for one beer at these stadiums, $12, is you can get yourself an 18-pack of almost any American beer here at any local grocery store.
That said, I don't think grown-ups should go out to a place where they're surrounded by other grown-ups and get absurdly drunk.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, so there we go. So that said, but it's
But
Seattle.
I'm not a grown-up.
It's Seattle. It's a populous, progressive town. Don't deceive people, or tell them, hey, you can have the regular beer is $12. You want us to water it down a little bit? It's $10.
Lastly, before we go, do you think this is something that is happening at every stadium across the country?
Don't know.
Or do you
don't,
think?
Don't know. Don't care.
Don't know. Don't care. Okay.
No.